Grateful for all of those people, and I've learned something from all of them.
Be the biggest knock on the Panthers coming into the season was a lack of weapons for Cam Newton, but Cam has loved having Greg Olsen as a target.
Does a great job with just finding ways to get open. Of course, the route concepts go however they may, but, when I scramble, when I step up, when he senses that I have trouble, he finds a way to get open. And I think that's a credit to, him having a lineage of football expertise in his past, being coached by his father still being influential in his life.
In Pro Football Hall of Fame class, the finalists, there were some good ones, including Brett Favre, considered a lock. Other candidates include Terrell Owens, Kurt Warner, Terrell Davis, and Marvin Harrison. Over to college hoops, number 6 Xavier came back to beat Marquette 90-82. Taking a look or listen to some of the current games going on at the half, it's Michigan State all over Michigan 44-28. Just about to start the second half, Oklahoma State leads Iowa State 24-22. And Villanova routing Providence 29-10, 6.5 minutes to go in the first. That's number 3 versus number 11 in America. I'm Keith Irizarry. This is NBC Sports Radio and the mobile app.
This is KCAA.
Hi, Pat Matthews again. I want to talk to you about selling online. And when I say selling, I'm talking about your home, your car, and even buying a house or a new set of wheels. There's a new kid in town, and that's buysellmakeoffer.com. The revolution has already begun, and I invite you to be a part of it. You see, get in on the ground floor because buysellmakeoffer.com never charges item fees. Can you imagine what the other guys might charge you for selling a car on their site, let alone a house? Well, buysellmakeoffer.com doesn't do that. And you can use Skype and YouTube videos to sell your products, big or small. Go right now to buysellmakeoffer.com and set up your account. For as little as $7.95 per month, you can sell up to 50 items, and they'll give you the first 30 days free just to try it out. Remember, no per item fees. Join the revolution today. buysellmakeoffer.com and tell them Pat Matthews sent you.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-643-6931 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-643-6931 to take your call now. Call 1-800-643-6931. That's 1-800-643-6931. Again, 1-800-643-6931.
Hey Di, do you know that many people have no idea that the Carousel Mall is actually open?
What? Do you tell them that that's where Kcaa is located?
Of course, but there's more than just Kcaa here.
Oh, I know. It's a totally great place for a girls' outing. Here at the Carousel Mall, there's Mega Beauty Supply.
And it's huge.
Yeah, the biggest beauty supply store I've ever seen. And they have wigs and extensions.
Then there's Backstreet Beauty Salon and Daniel's Jewelers, a store, by the way, for girls and guys.
Yes, and Nail Fashions where they do waxing and eyelash extensions. There's Lisa's Threading. You know, Mark, eyebrow threading is a big thing nowadays.
I do know about Mr. Yu's.
Yes, when you're ready for lunch, it's Mr. Yu's Chinese restaurant.
Best of all, Mr. Yu's is right next to KCAA.
Yes, all this located in the Carousel Mall, right off the 215, the 2nd and 3rd Street exit.
Come visit the Carousel Mall. We're open.
For more info, go to kcaaradio.com.
KCAA, where every day is a great day. KCAA, Loma Linda. Welcome to I'm Mad as Hell with Lloyd Brock and Greg Simpson. Now, if you want to share your anger, this is the station, KCAA, every Saturday at 12 noon. If you're mad as hell at the government, politicians, IRS, your bank, a car dealer, or the court system, let us know. You may want to be one of our in-studio guests, or just call in and vent that anger. 1-888-909-1050 or 909-888-5222 locally. We may not be able to resolve your individual problems, but we will give you a forum to share your anger with our listeners. Now, join us at KCAA 1050 AM and at kcaaradio.com or check us out at Ustream. Now, here's Lloyd and Greg.
I'm mad as hell. I'm not going to take it anymore.
Well, good. I'm mad as hell, too. What are you not going to take anymore?
Oh, just read the newspapers, listen to the news.
Oh, I know.
You have to be out in the middle of the ocean with no communication whatsoever not to be mad as hell.
Well, of course.
But look at this. This is in the business section, and this is Sundays. And
okay.
It says changes to know when filing a tax return. You know, they're going to add more forms and things like that, but this mostly has to do with Obamacare. And you know how much I love Obamacare.
Oh, yeah, me too. I'm with you, buddy. You're making me mad as hell as you go.
Well,
Cut
here
it
we
out.
go. Some of the biggest changes in tax forms are related to the ongoing evolution of Obamacare requirements. It said, although we're not there yet, it looks like the IRS is moving closer to becoming an agency that not only collects taxes and verifies income, but also collaborates with health insurance coverage status. And these changes also mean new lines on forms that taxpayers file, such as 1040, 1040A, 1040EZ. The IRS does not have as many new forms as far as last year, but for 2016, but the modifications are significant.
Oh, boy.
And listen up, because, I mean, I'm mad as hell about this, and I don't think they have
What are they
any
adding
business.
now? What kind of stuff, man?
Well, the
That's a
changes
book we got
related
there.
to health care reporting are where an uninformed tax filer is most likely to make a mistake that could result in procedural audit.
Oh, no.
You know, when filing 1040, filers now need to pay attention to line 61.
61.
Line 61, attesting that they have health coverage insurance, and also 1040EZ and 1040A have similar requirements on line 11 and line 38. If you can remember that, rattle.
Yeah, I've got it. I'll rattle it off.
If you're doing the short form, then that's the ones you need. And filers who bought coverage through the federal Obamacare exchange should expect to receive Form 1095A in the mail. You should have gotten it the first of the month. And 1095A records total insurance premiums paid as well as tax credits received for each month of the year. This form is important and should be kept with W-2s and other similar tax documents. Now, this information will help you fill out Form 8962, which allows you to claim any credit to which you are entitled. Now, do you see these forms? Do you remember them?
Yeah, I got it. Just keep going.
Sure you do. I'm sure you got that. There are 5 new tax forms released by the IRS relating to Obamacare. These 5 new forms could potentially add 1 to 3 additional hours of preparation time to your return and potentially increase some people's tax preparation bill this year. No lie. It's going to. My sister filed short form, my sister-in-law filed short form last year, and I won't name the tax company, but short form, and it cost her $375.
Oh, my God.
I told her, I said, I could have done that.
Sure. I could have done it.
Cloud. Well,
Look at the commercial.
I don't know
You
now,
seen that
but
commercial, didn't
even,
you? Easy.
even the short form, they're going to charge you more.
No, that's
Probably this
ridiculous.
year they'd charge you $425 for the short.
Oh yeah, sure.
Some
Listen to the
places-
stuff, man.
Some places do it for free. But you're adding all these to the Affordable Care Act, which actually isn't affordable.
No.
But
It's
and
getting
they
less-
said that, and the one accountant said that unless the taxpayer has substantial medical bills, he is unlikely to have many deductions available for medical costs. Now, rules have changed, and in general, a taxpayer must accumulate medical expenses totaling more than 10% of the person's income before an individual can deduct anything. This is a major change from the previous year.
That's ridiculous.
So, I mean, it really is. And if you're ticked off about this, give us a call. You know, the local, you can call us at 1-909-888-5222. And this is talking about Obamacare. Look at the pharmaceutical industry.
Oh yeah.
The drug firms. You know what they've got? Congress was questioning some of these people, especially that guy, what's his name? Shikreli or something like that, a former head of Turning Pharmaceutical, currently out on $5 million bail after being charged with securities fraud and conspiracy. He became the face of big pharma greed after jacking up the price of one-of-a-kind infection medication by 5,000%. The pill that was in question here normally costs $3 a pill. He jacked it up to $500 per pill. Now, and nobody said anything about it for a while, and then he said, this is outrageous. But he's only one of many.
Sure.
That one pill that
one pill that I'm supposed to take, $4,500 a month to take it right and consistent. They just changed 2 days ago, changed me to a medicine, similar medicine that we thought I was allergic to. I'm not, $100 a month. Little different.
That's
right?
a good news. So you should shop it around. And they claim that they need more, input on this. This guy claimed the 5th. He was there. I saw him on TV, and he's laughing.
Oh,
smiling,
really?
And they said, "What are you smiling about?" He wouldn't answer. Yeah. I refused to
made
answer
his
on
deal.
the grounds.
He's probably made his deal, somewhere, and we'll see that at the end,
I mean, this is ridiculous. How can people afford this? You can't.
Just as an aside, they had a lady. She was arrested 3 or 4 or 5 years ago. It's a lady doctor. She was prescribing these painkillers. She was a pain management gal, or no, she wasn't. She was a general practitioner, but she was prescribing potent painkillers to her patients. And in such an excess that 3 patients died of overdoses.
Oh, yeah, I read about that.
You read about that. Okay, well, they got her, and I guess they
give her 30 years to life.
Yeah, 30 years to life. But see, what has happened is many of the doctors now, the GPs and what have you, they're referring you to a pain management doctor. They won't write the prescriptions for painkillers. And a lot of these painkillers are absolutely necessary to help these people.
Well, then who writes them?
Yeah, the pain management. They have a specialty, which is pain management. And they write the prescriptions. They analyze and they write. But, they're going to be cautious as well. They have the same title doctor, and
then some of them get the kickbacks.
Yeah, whatever.
We've got a break for a commercial now.
Okay, that's fine.
But we'll be right back. And hopefully somebody will call.
Yeah.
Related to this subject.
Dial whatever. Call on anything, but call on this now.
We're going to talk about crime next.
Yes.
Wow, am I thirsty. Whoa.
Are you really?
Yes.
I think you should come up to Oak Hills Brewing Company, home of the best brews in the high desert.
High desert? That's where I'm from.
Oh, do you know Floyd?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
His brother Lloyd. Yeah, I know him.
Say hello to Floyd. Founded by 2 entrepreneurs, these big dreams turned into Oak Hills Brewing Company. They have yummy brews, select ales, craft sodas, root beer, ginger ale, and cream soda for the kids.
How many?
How many kids?
How many brews?
I don't care how many kids come up.
Oh, okay.
They have 3 brews.
Okay.
For kids. Then they have 13 brews for adults.
Oh, love it. Love it, love it.
I'm glad. Oak Hills Brewing. Mondays, 5 to 9. Thursdays, 3 to 9. Friday 1 to 10 and Saturday 1 to 10. Oak Hills Brewing Company.
I'm going up right now.
Do you know how to get there?
Yeah, almost.
Okay, well, let me just make sure. 15 north to the 395, past 2 signals, turn right on Poplar, and you're there. OakHillsBrewing.com.
On my way.
Kcaa.
Thanks for waiting. Lloyd and Greg are back.
Oh, yeah, we're back. And we forgot to mention that we're also on FM,
Right.
106.5.
Our show name is I'm Mad as Hell. You can go to Ustream. We're on
YouTube.
Ustream. Yeah, YouTube too. Ustream, YouTube.
YouTube.
Ustream.
We're on there too, the old program. So
okay, toll free 1-888-909-1050 for all you folks out in the United States somewhere besides local here.
Or the sticks where you can't get anything.
Yeah, or the sticks where you can't get anything.
And locally,
Not even
as
a
they say,
Ustream.
locally 909-888-5222. And we're going to talk about crime, and we got a lot of that.
Yeah, you know, I'm mad as hell about parole, our parole board. Some people that should be out are left in, nonviolent crimes, and they keep them because they're politically, not right. And this guy here, he's a shot caller for the Mexican mafia and been for years. And I've had the misfortune of talking to this man. His name is Boxer. That's what his
street name. Huh?
Street name, yeah. It's really Rene Boxer Enriquez. He was paroled in the 80s, 86 or 87, and he killed a lady and some others, raped some people, did some, pretty despicable crimes. Got locked up. While he was locked up, he did, I think he killed one and stabbed 3 or 4. Well, now they paroled him because he's showing a marked change. He's turned rat and snitched out all his
state's evidence.
Yeah, state's evidence. He's the law enforcement's pet. They say, they love him.
Yeah, I remember reading about him. They said, "Oh yeah, he gave us a lot of important information."
Oh yeah,
so
and even before,
And he says he's changed.
Yeah, well, maybe he has, but I doubt it, just because of the nature of what he does and what he did.
He said, "I promise not to kill anybody anymore."
Yeah, well, they'll kill him. They'll kill him. We'll know if he's changed or not. If he's changed, they probably leave him alone. If he hasn't changed, they'll probably kill him.
And he promised not to rape anymore.
Yeah, of course.
All these things, he should have been executed. Period.
Sure, he that's right. And this he had. When I spoke to him, he bragged about all the people he had killed, and it was very numerous. It was in the dozens and dozens, and he did all these hits, and he walked. He walked on all of them.
Well, they didn't have evidence.
That's what they said. There were, a lot of them were Mexican nationals. A lot of them were Colombia people that he killed.
Well, they were drug cartel people.
Drug cartel people, exactly. And so he walked on numerous murders. Gets on the street for a minute, kills some lady, and the kids. They're pretty sad. There's he left a 4 and 6-year-old. They missed their mama. Yeah, it's pretty sad. They didn't want him paroled. The gal's name was Cynthia Gabaldon. She was murdered, 6 and 8 years old, when their mother was shot right in front of them. That was in 1989. So he's free now.
What's the rationale?
There's no rationale
for that.
He's a snitch. That's the rationale. He's given up good evidence, and why can't he do it from inside?
Here, I got this notice from the Safety Employees Benefit Association in San Bernardino County.
Okay.
And basically, the Sheriff's Department, it says, "Dear neighbor, it's dangerous out there." It said 1 week ago, a 33-year-old man who was already wanted for attempted murder and had an extensive criminal history opened fire on a deputy who attempted to stop his car for traffic violations. Instead of pulling over, the suspect, Ismael Lubano, brazenly leaned out the car window and fired at least one shot at the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Sergeant. Lubano fled the scene. Lubano, who was wanted for a brutal January stabbing in Montclair was arrested during the routine traffic stop in Riverside and booked on his outstanding arrest warrant, plus an additional charge of attempted murder of a peace officer. He should also be facing probation violations as he was on felony probation for domestic violence from a 2014 conviction.
Oh, wow.
This suspect is an example of the caliber of criminal that are out of custody as a result of recent legislation. Here again, politics enters its raises its ugly head. We are pleased to say that he is behind bars before he can hurt anyone else. But we see what happened to this murderer.
Right here, you know, murder.
He could be out tomorrow. Who knows? But sheriff's deputies face this danger in the attempt to prevent you, the general public, from being confronted with it. As the effects of Assembly Bill 109, Proposition 47 continue to manifest, we anticipate violence against peace officers will only continue or increase. In the past 3 years, more than 6,000 peace officers in San Bernardino County were victims of crimes committed against them simply because they were doing their job of protecting their community. I didn't realize it was that many.
Yeah, I didn't either. That's incredible.
This is a dangerous job, but keeping you safe is our priority, it says, regardless of the legislation forced upon us. We hope to garner the backing promised to us by the politicians to continue to earn your support as a resident. Here again, you've got to vote for that individual who's going to make those changes.
To make those changes, that's right.
You know, we need somebody in there, even in Congress. We've got a gentleman.
That's
coming up.
Yeah, and we got a gentleman running that supports this.
Well, he was
on our
reserve,
show. Yeah,
reserve police
he's
officer,
a reserve cop,
sheriff
that's right.
here.
Uh-huh.
That's Paul Chabot.
You're right.
And, you know, he's talked about this before.
Sure.
And he's very concerned about that. Talk to other politicians.
Yeah.
That represent you in the area if you have a problem with that. And I hope to get the president of the Safety Employees Benefit Association on, and he can talk a lot more about that.
That'd be good.
And I've invited him on. So if you're out there listening or anybody that knows him, please call him.
Nudge him a little, please.
Yeah.
Give him a nudge. Tell him to come on the show and say what it's all about.
Crime is a big problem.
Sure it is. And
not only here, but nationwide.
Nationwide, you know, and these murders and what have you, they have their guns. This guy, he got his gun. He didn't go to a gun store to get it, I'm sure. He got his gun off the street from other thugs, other criminals that are armed.
The serial number was probably scratched.
Filed off or whatever
he
they
probably
do.
had 4 or 5 of those guns.
Yeah, whatever he had available, anything he wanted. You know, it was he's what they call a shot caller, and in prison or out of prison, I don't care where you're a shot caller. You don't lose that. You're a gang member, you don't lose that either. So
this was on the news Friday, and it's out of our area.
Okay.
This was in the Washington Post, and it's Virginia Tech freshmen together plotted slaying of a 13-year-old girl.
Yeah, I read that. Wasn't that incredibly?
But you know, it says
ugly and stupid.
Blacksburg, Virginia. Virginia Tech freshman was intimately involved in the plan to kill a 13-year-old Blacksburg, Virginia girl, helping a college classmate pick a remote spot for the slaying, burying a shovel with him, or buying a shovel with him.
Buying one,
not burying it, and ultimately disposing of Nicole Lavelle's body. Natalie Keepers, 19, told investigators that she wanted to be a part of something secretive and exciting.
Wow.
According to the but
secretive and exciting, they call murder, huh? Wow.
She enticed this guy, who she helped kill, this young girl, had evidently met her online.
Yeah.
David Eisenhower.
Oh, yeah.
He was 18, and he's also a fellow student there, who's been charged with abducting and killing Nicole. The middle schooler disappeared January 27th, sparking a multi-day search, and her body was found last weekend just across North Carolina border.
Oh, boy.
And Keeper's attorney did not directly address the charges against her at the bond hearing, but said she wanted an opportunity to prepare a strong defense and explain some of it.
Oh,
How can you explain
you
some
can't
of that?
explain that.
He said the law enforcement officials said that Eisenhower had sexual contact with a 13-year-old girl after meeting her online and used their relationship to lure her out of her home. Here again, I will warn parents time and time again.
Monitor.
Know where your kids are on the internet. And these guys are out there, and they're dangerous. And so are women. Young women like this that encourage
looks like
that.
across the board here.
And as I say, sick.
Yeah.
You've got to have something exciting.
Yeah, that is
secretive.
incredibly decadent. It
I
is.
can't imagine people doing that, but it's just...
Well, they had one here in Redlands 10, 20 years ago where they did dang near the same thing, where they lured this girlfriend of this girl, and they buried her up in Mentone or outside Mentone.
In the canyon, I
think.
think.
Remember? And they shot her, and they took it back. Very similar sounding case. That come to mind.
He's out now.
Yeah, he's already out. Okay, isn't that wonderful? That just warms my heart. Now I'm mad as hell again.
Well...
They should have never got out. The planning behind that.
No, that was a different.
Horrible.
That was a different case.
Yeah. Okay.
I beg to differ.
Okay. Good.
I know the one you're talking about.
You know the one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I know. I figured you would. It was in the papers.
Yeah, and
sensationalized.
But it's a thrill kill.
Thrill kill. Yeah.
Just for. I want to know what it would feel like if I killed somebody.
Yeah. This was their best girlfriend, but she was a little jealous of her, and that that was the motive behind killing her.
I don't understand this at all.
No.
So
I don't either.
Psychopaths are out there.
Yeah.
And they're on the internet.
And now we're bringing a whole country full that we know nothing about. Country's full.
That's true.
Let them come in.
Well, yeah, and that happens in Europe. They've got stories that they're telling all the time about. Now they're cutting off a lot of these immigrants, people in Germany, they had wide open arms about these people.
Oh yeah, for a long time they thought it was a money maker. Yeah,
and now they're finding out that they were illiterate.
Sure.
And had no social skills.
And filthy.
And if they wanted a woman, they would take her and rape her.
And rape her, sure.
Because that was a part of their
culture. Yeah, isn't that terrible?
And now they're saying, we don't want you. But they're trying to send these people to classes to try and teach these 19 and early 20-year-olds how to behave in a civilized nation. You don't rape our women. You don't kill our people. This
is what they've been brought up with. There's no changing that.
I don't care what the excuse. You do not bring these people in.
Change it in their country and then bring them in.
And now in Syria, they're bombing the hell out of Syria. The Russians are. And chasing more people into Turkey, but there was 300,000 people in that town, and they bombed it to almost oblivion and killed thousands of people. We don't know the correct number.
But it's thousands, going to be more, too.
And nobody's doing anything about it. The Russians just go in there and they say, hey, they don't care.
They don't care.
They don't drop leaflets or anything, say we're going to bomb our country.
Yeah, they just make as long as it's easy for them,
They say, well, so what about the collateral damage?
Yeah, that's
so, and that's their way.
Americans never been that way, and it's maybe if we'd have cleaned it up a little better.
Well, we got a break for a commercial now, but you're tuned to KCAA, 1050 AM, and now 106.5 FM.
You're listening to KCAA Loma Linda at 106.5 FM, K293CF Moreno Valley.
Money, money, money!
Most of us need extra money. Well, if you own something of value, go to Rich's Jewelry and Loan in Ontario. He'll loan you money on jewelry, musical instruments, tools, electronics, and almost anything of value. Or if you prefer, he'll purchase the item from you. And if you need a great buy in diamonds or a Rolex watch, Rich can save you hundreds of dollars. Don't waste time. Go to Rich's Jewelry and Loan, 124 West Holt Boulevard in Ontario. Give Rich a call, 986-2604 and tell him what you'd like to sell or bring in for a loan.
Loans.
Rich's Jewelry and Loan, 124 West Holt Boulevard, Ontario.
You're listening to KCAA, your good neighbor along the way.
Just when you thought you couldn't wait any longer, Lloyd and Greg are back.
Yeah, how do you like my new watch?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Good.
I bet you got it from
Rich.
Did you?
Jewelry and Loan.
Jewelry and Loan. All right.
They're in Ontario.
Right, and I bet you
This
was
would
reasonable?
retail for over $200.
Uh-huh.
I got it for $75.
Yeah,
you
his
can't
stuff
beat
is-
it.
you
I mean,
can't beat
it
it,
was
guys.
brand new, still in the
deal,
case.
yeah.
I guess the guy didn't wear it, but I took advantage of that, and you two can take advantage.
Yeah,
of
go
it.
down there and take advantage of it.
He's right off of Euclid on Holt Boulevard.
Right.
Right there. Right around the corner.
Right
Rich's
around the
Jewelry
corner
and
from
Loan.
Euclid at the corner.
Good guy,
there.
and I'm going to have him on here one day, and we're going to talk about pawn shops.
Pawn shops,
Or Pawn
pawn
Star,
broking.
because they approched him first.
Yeah,
to
he
do
had
that show.
That's right. A long time ago they approached him, and
He said,
he
no,
turned
I
it
didn't
down.
want it.
Yeah.
Now, I think he has second
Yeah, I do
thoughts now,
too.
but that would have been great.
Yeah, it would have. But
Any
go
rate,
see him.
We were looking in today's paper, too, also was in the L.A. Times.
Oh, that one, yeah.
I got to give him, no, this was on Thursdays.
Okay.
Anti-Taliban fighter dead at the age of 12. They're recruiting these little kids, and they did the same thing in many countries, and
Oh,
they
yeah.
got down to it. Germany was recruiting those young kids
Sure.
towards the end of World War II. But this is ridiculous, having children that are going to die or blow up.
Sure.
Some
They're so obedient, you know. They listen. They take direction, and you know they don't know what they're doing really. They're out there murdering.
Well, they've been doing this in Africa for years too.
For
They
years
would
and
go
years,
and
yeah.
slaughter the entire village, and then they would take the youngsters
kids
as young as 8 years old.
Sure.
And give them a
rifle or a pistol or
Yeah.
a knife or whatever,
Yeah,
whatever they needed to use. Machine guns, yeah.
and they go out there and they'd slaughter the next village and the next one, and then they would honor these kids.
Yeah. And the
Say,
kids
yeah, you're
be greatly honored.
You're a star.
I just watched a movie some time ago on that, and it was very good. It was a documentary, and it was very informative on how they did this.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they followed the life of one kid whose family was murdered, and then they used him as like you said, they armed him and took him out of the village, and he became a great killer for their
Well,
group.
wasn't that based on a true story?
Yeah, it was. It was a true story. That's what they said, and it was very hard to watch at places, but it was very, very informative too.
Well, the ISIS is doing the same thing, I'm sure.
You know they are. Yep.
It's
ISIS.
just, and nobody wants to do anything about it. We've got, what do you think of these, the politics? What's happening now?
Yeah,
with all the-
politics. Rand Paul had to drop out of the race because of his. He wanted a little better showing in Iowa, I'm sure, but he sees that no libertarian type person is going to be elected. You know, on both sides, we're going with the authoritarian type person, whether it's liberal or conservative, Democrat, Republican. It's all authoritarian, more government. And
well, I'm a libertarian.
yeah, I know you are, and my son is, and
But I vote
lean
across
that
the
way,
board.
too.
I vote for the person, not the party.
That's right.
The person and their philosophy. And if you read it online, you can tell that you can go there and say what they're for and what they're against in more detail.
Sure.
So I think every voter should do that, not just blindly vote for your party because you can't go against them. Because that party you used to vote for, just like one of the politicians told me, he says the Democratic Party isn't the same one I used to belong to.
It isn't. It isn't.
And he changed. I used to be a Democrat. I voted for Kennedy.
I was too. And I when I
But
come out of
it's not-
school, my
it's-
parents were.
It's not the same party.
No, I don't even
They've
like
done-
identifying with them anymore.
Completely different.
But if you read about Rand Paul, read some of his ideals and politics and what have you, and you might see where this was really a spark for America. And I don't know anybody that has anything close to him.
I
on
liked
either
him,
side.
but you see what's happening in the Democratic Party right now. Bernie Sanders is their
yeah,
darling.
the communist, right? Isn't he a socialist?
Well,
Sure.
a socialist.
Yeah, well.
He said he's not a communist. He's a
yeah,
democratic
right.
socialist.
Yeah.
Just share the wealth. He said, you got to tax the wealthy up to 91%.
Yeah.
And then the bottom level doesn't pay anything, and it just trickles
I
down.
subscribe to the quack theory. That's what he is.
Well, but he's got that popular vote of the young people.
He sure does. The young people are voting for him. That's right.
And Hillary's losing like crazy because she said, "Are you sure you're not going to be indicted?" She said, "Oh, I'm absolutely sure."
But how did she win this caucus? I don't understand it.
I
even
know.
by a squeak.
I know people in the FBI, and I've talked to them. They said, "No way in hell does she know what's going on with the FBI."
Oh.
They would allow you if you're under investigation. They don't call up and say, "Oh, by the way, you're being investigated for this, this, and this."
You're going down, buddy. Yeah.
No,
I know.
You can't say that, but it's impossible for her to know
what they're doing. Yeah,
but it is damaging, and the credibility, like that one guy did in the last debate where they were talking. Well, no, it was a town hall meeting, and he approached her and he says, "The young people I know don't trust you. Is there a reason for that?" Oh no, I'm trustworthy.
Oh no, I'm very trustworthy. Look.
Then Bernie Sanders accused her of taking Wall Street money. She made millions of dollars off of them. What was it, $21 million in speaking engagements?
Big money.
He says, "Well, I didn't ask for that. They just gave it to me."
What
yeah, sure. They know the end result, though. If she
where it's going,
say,
I'm sure.
You remember that money we gave you?
Yeah. Wasn't it over $100 million in speaking money, or $150 million?
Well,
but
that was the Clinton Foundation's
the whole
worth.
fund.
I think is over $200 million.
Yeah.
But these people, she keeps saying that she's going to go against Wall Street, and yet she's one of the people that have profited by that.
Sure.
All that.
She's been going against them all along, with inside trading and all that.
You can say
good
one
stuff.
thing with one side of the mouth,
Sure.
and then.
The Indians said what? They forked tongue?
Yeah.
Isn't that what they said?
White men speak with forked tongue.
Forked tongue, right.
And on the Republican side, we have Trump, Cruz, Rubio. Those are the three that are in contention.
Yeah.
And
all three big babies, I'm sorry.
Well, it's going to boil down to one.
Yeah, it is.
And somewhere down the line, and Trump the other day, they said he said the F word, but then he came back and he said, "I didn't say it, I just left it blank." And the reporter said, "You mouthed it." He said, "Well, but I didn't say it."
But he didn't say it right, yeah.
Just
a little formality, a little bit.
I mean, it's quite entertaining. It really is. And a lot of people have said, he's still the best. And Jimmy Carter the other day, they said between Trump and Cruz, who would you pick? He said Trump.
Yeah.
Can you believe that?
He did. Well, I don't know about Carter though. I'd be scared about that.
He said between the two, I'd pick Trump.
Yeah, well.
So he knows something.
He knows something. Yes.
He was considered the worst president until Obama.
Yeah. He ain't even close anymore, Carter.
But these are, and Cruz is in there saying that he's going to make it and he's going to do all these other things. And yet Rubio, for some reason, Cruz to me looks like he reminds me of Johnson for some reason. And I never trusted Johnson.
Yeah, well.
The President Johnson. But he was... these things always come to.
I was less critical of Johnson than most. I thought he was a better president than what he got a rap for. But history is not.
It turns out he was a womanizer.
Yeah,
and
history hadn't held up what I
things,
thought. Though, as a
and
kid.
he did a lot of things that weren't exactly kosher,
Yeah.
but a lot of them do.
Sure.
Through
history, the president's office has been pretty weak on the.
Except
women.
I liked Truman.
Yeah.
I really did. And he was probably the last totally honest president we ever had.
Probably, you're right.
I just, I really liked him.
Yeah.
When he said the buck stops here.
He meant it.
And I think that Obama said that here.
Yeah,
he never gave credit to Truman for that
he
statement.
didn't. He used it.
But that was a sign on his desk.
Sure.
The buck stops here. But he didn't want Secret Service protection. He wouldn't take a dime for speeches after he left the office.
Yeah,
he said, "You want the president of the United States. You don't want me."
Yeah, he's a rare jewel. He really is. He's if you look at history.
He didn't want to. He was a sergeant in the Army.
Yeah.
And I mean, he had those.
Well, he knew how to command. He knew how to lead. He really did.
The common man ideas, and just.
Yeah.
But you go with the lesser evil when you're out there trying to find.
Yeah, look at it. Review these people and check them out good before you cast your vote, because it's important.
Well,
and make sure you vote.
Years ago, I used to work for Seagram's and as a distillery rep. And I came across a bar one time, and the guy said, he said, "I gotta find me an honest bartender." He said, "The only honest bartender is the guy I hired today because he doesn't know how to steal from me, but he'll find out tomorrow." And the same thing with the politician.
Oh, yeah.
The only honest one is the one you elect today, because tomorrow those lobbyists will get to it.
They'll get to him, sure.
And say,
change
hey.
it around.
And I think that that's the problem today. Voting for Trump, a lot of these politicians, both Democrats and Republicans, don't want him in there.
That's right. They don't like him because he's got
he's
money, he's rich, and
he's going to mess up
mess up their little game, yeah.
Yeah, because it's been played for so many years.
Sure.
And they say, well, he's not qualified to do this. He's not qualified. He hasn't. Well, Obama was?
Yeah. What was Obama qualified for?
For nothing. A community organizer.
Now he's working his way up to Supreme Court justice, according to Hillary.
But, I'd like the idea. Yeah, I know that Trump is a pompous, egotistical guy, and entertaining.
But he's probably the best of the three.
Well,
I think.
If you don't do the job, he's going to fire you.
Yeah, that's right. He's going to get rid of you.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, it is. It's a real good thing.
And I've said before, all those generals and admirals that the Obama administration fired because they wouldn't do their bidding and they wanted to go against them as far as the foreign policy is concerned, Trump will probably hire one of them to become Secretary of Defense.
Right.
One of the good ones.
One of the good ones, exactly, right.
What would be great is for him to be elected and then Petraeus he puts in his
that'd be good, yeah.
Defense.
Yeah, that'd be good.
And pardons him first.
First, yeah.
And then
but see, with Trump, the biggest thing with Trump is, he's such a smart man. He's been, he's made this fortune by doing good things and making good calls. If he becomes our leader, the government can make him even stronger with good calls. So, I'm worried about growing the government. That's what I'm worried about with Trump.
I don't think you have a worry there because he's going to cut a lot of programs that should have been cut a long time ago.
But those mainly are money programs, right? Some of those programs they need.
Just drain. That just
the drains that aren't good programs.
Look at the Department of Education.
Yeah, they got a lot.
Just unbelievable incompetence that they've had in Washington for years.
But our military, we don't need to cut the military anymore.
He would increase
He would increase the military.
He would
that's
cut.
A good factor. But
IRS would be cut almost to the bone.
Yeah,
which should have been.
It should have been, sure.
I mean, we don't need that if we go to a flat tax or something like that, like they've got in Europe.
Sure.
But all of this, we're going to see as it
evolves.
They've got a lot of power out there that'll stop him, but the people have momentum, and they thought that he wouldn't go this far in the first place.
Yeah, that's the whole deal. He's went this far, and he looks pretty strong.
Yeah. I need some calls. Come on, people.
Come on.
Locally, 909-888-5222.
And long distance is 888. No, that's 888-909-1050. And local.
And we got a break for a commercial.
Okay.
And we'll be right back.
Is it that time? Your car needs a smog check? Well, check out Quick Smog Check in Montclair. They guarantee your vehicle will pass, or you pay not a thing. That's right. If it doesn't pass the test, what the heck? You don't have to pay. So what's the reason why you're not calling them? The number 909-626-5436. You can also drive right down there now. 5438 Holt Boulevard in Montclair. They're open 9 to 5, 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. Do it now. No wait smog checks at Quick Smog Check in Montclair. 909-626-5436.
For more local radio every day, tune into KCAA Loma Linda.
Still mad as hell? Lloyd and Greg are back.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we're back.
You're still mad at Obamacare. Huh?
Yeah, I'm mad at Obamacare. Very mad. I've been angry.
Well, you know, a lot of people didn't realize, you know, that, and these politicians say they're going to change that. Some are going to abolish it. Others are going to tweak it. Well, I don't think you should abolish it. I think it needs to be tweaked. There's some good things in there, but there's a lot of bad.
There's so much bad.
You know, but it's just, you shouldn't have mandatory insurance.
Yeah, right.
If you don't pay, like, there's a lot of college students that can't afford. I've talked to some of them outside.
Right.
I should record some of that and
Yeah.
go out there and
Yeah, you should, and
talk
we'll
to
play
them
it,
and
yeah.
see what they think of it. But there's a lot of them that can't afford $700 a year.
Yeah.
And that's, well, it's $695 if you don't buy into this Affordable Care Act. You're going to be fined $695, and for every child that you have that does not have Obamacare, $247 per year. That's the fine. It should be up to the individual what they can afford. And they say, well, if you can't afford it, then you won't be able to. I know people that don't have it, and they say, I say, what are you going to do? They say, well, we'll go to county hospital like we always done.
Yeah, well,
It's still free.
it's still free. So.
But, you know, this is ridiculous when you figure out, you know, you're penalized there. The premiums have gone up on Affordable Care Act, plus the deductions. I told you last week about that friend of my son's that paid $9,000 before he can have an angioplasty.
Yeah, and my friend,
and he's got Obamacare, and this is and it's based totally on how much you make. This one guy, I remember reading a story some time ago about this guy up there in Northern California who had a good job, but he was a private contractor, and he made about $50,000 a year, sometimes $60,000, and he had Obamacare. He couldn't afford anything else, so he signed up for that. His premiums, my God, were so high. He was paying $900 and something per month.
Oh, yeah.
And then his live-in girlfriend also had Obamacare, and she was a waitress.
Oh, boy.
Hers was, what was it, $29 per month.
Some real low.
And no deductible. His, you know, and he had to, so it's unequal, totally unequal.
Totally unequal,
They just say, well, we're trying to equalize this whole thing, but some people are really being slammed for this, and others are getting a free ride.
That's exactly what's happening. That's exactly what Obamacare is meant to do. It was meant to do from inception when it was written on that paper, and it's just such a dismal failure. And it has good ideas. That's the problem. There's some good medical...
proof of the pudding right here.
Sure.
Is Aetna and Obamacare. They have serious concerns about Obamacare's sustainability.
Yeah.
Now, this is from Bloomberg's deal and his letter. And there's more about Obamacare in the Wall Street Journal a couple of weeks ago. The Feds tighten when people can enroll in the Obamacare. United Health raises forecasts for losses on Affordable Care Act plans, and that they anticipate, I think, $500 million losses this year, so they're going to opt out next year. In other words, they're going to abandon these people. And there's 17 smaller medical insurance companies that have already opted out.
That have already left, okay.
And some of the majors here, my God, Anthem, Blue Cross, they lost, what was it, $100 million? And I think that Aetna is down 1.81%.
Wow.
United Healthcare 1.2%. They're down from the year ago, and that's as they say. And this coming year they'll be down a lot more than that, 500 million.
Oh boy.
And then Blue Cross is down 2.27.
Oh boy.
So the possibility of their abandoning their customers, their base, and saying,
they're huge.
we're not going to insure you anymore because there's more sick people than we anticipated, and we're having to spend more money on them.
Right.
They wanted the young people to sign up, and they're not doing it.
The young people, they wanted to pay the bill.
They said they're completely healthy, and they're the ones that are sustain the program.
Yeah.
And if they can't sustain it, there was a provision in there that the American taxpayer would bail them out.
Right.
But Marco Rubio is the one that introduced a bill to squash that.
Yeah, okay.
Said we're not going to bail them out.
Yeah.
And so that went through. So that destroyed
that part of
their cushion there. They said, oh, well, if we don't have enough in our cushion here, because they're supposed to set aside a certain amount of money from each participant.
Okay.
To bail those companies out that are losing money.
Yeah,
well, if everybody's losing and they say we're in the whole 500 million, or we will be, come on in, U.S. government.
Yeah, come on
taxpayers,
in and do this. Yeah,
bail us out.
Bail us out.
And there is, this was not the original.
No, it was supposed to be
program.
affordable. It was supposed to be keep your own doctor. You do this, you do that. None of the promises
didn't
were
happen.
there. It didn't happen. And it's not going to happen. That's the problem. I've talked to somebody directly involved with this, and she said she about puked. She didn't want to talk about it. I wanted to get a little information inside, and she wasn't going there. She said
I've
it
talked
is
to
the
nurses.
absolute nastiest thing she's
I've
ever
talked to nurses and doctors. None of them like it.
None of them like it, yeah.
And it's just, as they say, they take up more time. We don't have enough doctors to administer health care in the United States, and they're not. Kaiser was going to form their own medical school.
Yeah, of course.
Because they can't get enough doctors.
That's right.
And they'll probably, it'll be cheaper, or they'll have some provision in there. If you work for us after graduation, we're going to do this, this, and this for you. So I think, kind of like the military, once you get through medical school, if you join the military and do this, they'll take care of your...
But there's going to be a lot of physicians' assistants come out of that. I bet you they get more of those than they do doctors.
Well, they're doing that now. There's more physicians' assistants. I went to an urgent care deal several months ago, and I got a physician's assistant, and they only had 2 doctors on duty at that time.
Yeah.
All the rest were physician assistant. And I was misdiagnosed, by the way.
Yeah, I remember that. Yep.
But at any rate, that's what it's coming to. There's not enough doctors to attend to all these people, all the sick people that are coming on board with Obamacare. And that's an extreme problem.
It is. It's a big problem. It's going to last until we get just this new administration and they can do something about it. Tweets. I don't tweet, but I was reading about they have a program to stop these terrorists. They're going to somehow monitor their tweets and stop this terrorist thing, turn them in or whatever. It was in the news just before I come in.
Yeah.
And they're going to do something. Tweet is. So. tweet. Huh?
Well, they're trying to monitor that because they're, actually stirring the pot of.
Well, I think that comes from the San Bernardino thing where this gal was identifying with ISIS as she killed those people right after. And I think on Facebook, and I think their social media is trying to take a remedy, and I don't think it exists. Free speech in America, you can't stifle it. You can monitor and tell on them. That's good.
There's so much to be mad as hell about. Yeah. But, they... and I try not to be.
Yeah, I do too. I try to be
I'm normally
happy
a pretty cool, leveled individual, but I read the newspaper and everything else, and people said, "Don't read the newspaper. Don't watch the news. It's gonna."
Then you don't know anything, right? Then you're like everybody else, and we don't want to know all this bad stuff.
Do we know any good stories?
Yeah, I got a pastor in Calvary Chapel in Chino Valley, and he's presenting the truth from the pulpit, not batting an eye, not falling prey to the pressures of the media or whatever, and he's presenting the truth. And across the line, he sent me an email that was very inspiring to explain some of the circumstances that I didn't understand. And so he takes his time, and he's got a huge church. He's a mega church. And, he's huge. So to take the time and answer a personal email, it was just, breath of fresh air.
And what's his name?
This is, I can't even think of his name. David Rosales, Pastor David Rosales.
Yeah.
So he's quite.
Should have him come on.
Yeah, I'm going to ask him. I texted him and told him we had the radio show, but I haven't asked him yet. I haven't got that brave, but I'm going to.
Well,
I'm going to go in
do
person.
That. I
and
mean,
talk to him.
I like opinions like that.
Sure,
Anybody
I
who
do
wants
too.
to come on this show, all you have to do is contact us.
That's
let
it.
us know.
Yeah, just make a call and we'll sure accommodate you.
Yeah, well, we could, as they say, they'll pass on the message to us.
Yeah.
You can
Call the radio station and
Yeah.
and then we'll get the message and we'll talk to you and put you on.
But you got to call us first, though.
Yeah, that's right. The phones were very dormant today. What happened, folks? Come on.
Well, they were outside.
Call and holler at us.
Wait a minute. That was Super Bowl.
Oh, Super Bowl tomorrow, right?
Oh, yeah, so they're preparing for it.
Okay.
They're in betting.
Yes.
I didn't even get it to a pool this year.
Yeah.
Normally, somebody's got a pool that I can get into, and then they pick all the numbers. But
I've chosen Denver against Lloyd, who chose Carolina, so we'll see how it works out.
Yeah.
I haven't followed them this year, so I'm
Panthers
kind of,
all the
in
way.
The blind. Yeah. Okay.
But you, Broncos all the way, huh?
Yeah, Denver because of old quarterback that I like.
Manning?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's going to go out.
Yeah.
But, he might go out a victor.
Yeah, he could.
Well, I'll be out there eating and watching the game.
All right. Well, I'll probably
With
watch
those just
tidbits.
barbecued. Yeah.
If I can get my wife to let me, we'll watch some together.
And everybody else in this nation, probably we get the biggest deal. I like the halftime shows, and I saw some of the commercials or a portion of them, and they look pretty interesting.
Oh, yeah, the commercials there are very interesting. And I like the good football, if they play good football. But I have been off this year. I haven't watched football. And I miss it a little bit, too.
Very interesting. I don't know, next week I'd like to get somebody on and we talk about technology and how it's affecting the regrettable decline of higher learning.
Okay.
Something
with that one.
Yeah.
That would be good. That would be
and
a
that
good
is
subject.
so true today because of technology.
Right.
It
Where they
is
don't do
dumbing-
cursive anymore. They have eliminated some of the stuff that's important, maybe.
It's dumbing down the nation. And
Yes.
of young people.
Of
I
young
think
people,
that, the technology is going to play a very important role in our coming election. And that always has been a case.
Sure. It always has been, hasn't it?
Well, currently.
Yeah, we don't know what it
That's
is
what
today,
happened with
do we?
Obama. He did it because of the internet and
Sure.
those reaching out. He did a wonderful job of doing that.
Right.
But I can't say that much.
Well,
for
he's
his
a money
presidency.
machine. He is. He just drew so much money you couldn't compete against him. Even Hillary couldn't compete against him when he ran.
Oh, yeah, she was
because of his bankroll. He's huge.
Well, a lot of other things. He was,
there was
he's
other
a
things.
dynamic speaker.
Sure.
I have to give that to him.
Yeah, that was it. He
But,
does speak well.
And almost lies as much as Hillary.
Yeah, they're both liars. They're absolute liars. Come on.
Defend your choice.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
you could have done it on this
Come
show.
on, you can come on this program. Obama, Hillary, come on and speak.
Yeah.
Tell us you haven't lied.
Or your representative can come on
send
here.
somebody.
Anyway, until next week, have a good Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah,
We'll see
enjoy
you.
the Super Bowl, guys. I'm Greg.
I'm Lloyd.
And we'll see you next week, God permitting.
So late.
This is 1050 AM, KCAA Loma Linda, and 106.5 FM, Yucaipa.
Your NBC Sports Radio update starts now.
Almost ready to get super. I'm Keith Arizari. We're now just one day from the Panthers and Broncos Super Bowl 50. Peyton Manning knows that one of the best things about Denver is who they can count on.
I have enjoyed being on this team because I really feel like we have lots of leaders.